you, Nelson. All right, next up we have Mr. Sam Cook. He will be speaking and doing his presentation. So, Mr. Sam, whenever you're ready, you can take it away. Let me get this.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks to Rashad and our colleagues all together. Nice presentations, past two, and just want to echo the fact that you'll hear quite a bit of some of the same information from me, but a different twist. The two before me were quite younger than I am. I have an extensive career, and I actually started back when I was early as a Club Scout and Boy Scout. Did a lot of work in extension. I was participating in Future Farmers of America, come from a small town in what we call Linden, Alabama. And my dad also worked in a paper mill. I started my career in 1979 when I went to Tuskegee and went from there to NC State, where I have a forestry degree. And along the way, while I was at Tuskegee and as I moved into NC State, I spent quite a bit of time working on my career in forestry. Some of my background lends to the fact that growing up in the South, spending time working out and living in the environment, being in a rural community, I really did not understand what forestry was all about. In my world, forestry back then was an individual who worked in the logging industry. They went around and cut trees, did not know that there was a community of actual professionals that was in the forefront of leading that work. The people that we saw as African Americans back then, they were the ones cutting trees, putting trees on the truck, delivering it to the mills. My dad being in the paper mill, basically he was the one that went there, did shift work, ran a tow motor, never came home and talked about his work. We would visit the paper mill once a year. When I get there, all we would do is eat barbecue, take out a box of paper, bring it back to the house. We would see the trees going back and forth within the mill, but no one would talk about what those trees were doing when they got inside the mill in the processing aspect. So as I moved into Tuskegee, I spent quite a bit of time working with the Forest Service, and it started with a research technician position with the Intermountain Forest and Range Experimental Station. And I learned how to fight fire, and so I became on the fire, got certified being the fire crew. And I did quite a bit of travel. So I worked from Boise, Idaho, all the way through down into Phoenix, down into Arizona, as far into Anchorage, Alaska. Funny story, I get off a plane in Alaska, and the guy walks up to me and he gives me a gun. And he says, "Guess what? You have a weapon." I said, "Why?" He said, "Your goal, if you see a bear, is to shoot over that bear's head to scare him." I said, "You really don't know who you're talking to." I said, "I grew up in the South. When you gave a person a gun, they went out and they killed meat, which was to bring home to feed the family or anyone in the community." So that was a different twist to be going somewhere to another place, not knowing the cultural and understanding the diversity and equity and inclusion components of what was happening in their communities. I had left the Forest Service and came back and finished my degree at NC State. Along the way, I worked for the college, which is what I'm doing now while I was in NC State. I spent quite a bit of time working with International Paper Company as a forest technician. Then I got a degree and spent time working with Duke Power, which is now Duke Energy. Got a retirement there in 9 years. And then I started a career with International Paper Company in the global sourcing fiber supply side of the business. That I did every aspect of forestry, from dirt forestry, as we call it, from managing all the way to running a sawmill in the manufacturing side of the business. Came back out into the industry, and all I did was help in the procurement side of the business. So that's where I have the supply chain extensive career path. I retired early from International Paper Company, came to work, got my own consulting business. I'm a USDA technical service provider. Also, I'm a registered forester across 3 states in the South. My current position is here at NC State in the College of Natural Resources. I'm still a forester, but they call me the Executive Director for Forest Assets, and I also serve as the Vice President of the Natural Resources Foundation. So my funny story around that is I helped the development team raise money, and I also, from the forestry side, make money for the college to use for their dean's discretion. A little bit of background to ponder over while we're addressing these issues. Although the racial and ethnic diversity of communities varies greatly across the country, the forestry industry continues to struggle with workforce diversity. In fact, according to the Census Bureau, less than 3% of foresters and conservation scientists in the United States are people of color, especially and primarily African Americans. The world is rapidly changing, and diverse perspectives formed from diverse experiences are instrumental to develop sustainable solutions to the global challenges of any organization, whether it is a family-run company or a Fortune 500 company. From one of my friends and colleagues, our very own department head of the College of Natural Resources here in the Forestry and Environmental Resources, Dr. Don Gower, he stated, he says, "I'm an ecologist, and the more diverse the species composition of an ecosystem, the more resilient and productive the ecosystem is to disturbance, such as climate change. I believe the same is true for society. We need to spend quite a bit of time engaging more people of color, especially doing more work and being involved and engaged in the outdoors." My career growing up, I was fortunate to have a mentor. He took me to the woods. He provided me the opportunity to see what the outdoors was all about. The word forestry never came out of his mouth, but he showed me that there was a world beyond just being inside. The goal for him was to teach me how to swim, how to appreciate nature, how to enjoy what the environment had to offer. And so he provided the opportunity. My parents worked full-time, raised 7 kids. I was the last to the youngest. So they did not spend a lot of time with me going outdoors and saying, go do this and do that, except go work on the farm. This guy, he did not have kids, so he provided the opportunity. He provided financial resources to help support the efforts. That is one reason I feel that I am where I am today, because he showed to me what was critical about being in the outdoors. One of the other points to address, successful diversity programs spend years building the trust of leaders in the underserved communities. And once the trust pipeline is established and there's a supported network of mentors in academic and many different organizational units, then and only then will these efforts become self-sustaining. We need to start early with youth and parents, talking about the importance about being outside and what professionals are experiencing. The love for the job, the many opportunities in the field of forestry, and they can make money, and how they can make money. Those are some things that I try to do in my career now. I spend quite a bit of time in my role working with students, working with parents, educating them on the role that I play, but more importantly, the role that they can play in the future. Most parents do not know what forestry has, what it means. They've never heard of it. Sometimes they've never heard about what it means to work in the career of a natural resource professional. Most parents, especially kids, parents of color, they try to engage their kids to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. They've never heard that there is a profession that allows them and their kids to be safe, to also make a good income, and have a great career. So we have to cast a wider net for future foresters and natural resource managers. We compete with other STEM professionals for the brightest minds and retain these talented individuals by providing opportunities for professional growth and career advancement. These strategies for welcoming and mentoring diverse employees will build a diverse and talented workforce equipped to help the professional better fulfill the missions to serve society. One thing that I've done while I've been here at NC State since the 2016 era, and even prior to that, is help develop programs that engage students, parents, to see what this career has to offer. One of my most recent venture with faculty, the dean, and others here at in the college is to develop a program with Tuskegee University that allows us to recruit students in their third year to attend our NC State College of Forestry program, where they will get their final fourth year as a forester, but they will have the degree still titled as Tuskegee and able to qualify to go into the master's program of forestry here at NC State, which means they will have another year to a year and a half to complete the master's program. We call it a 3+2 program. And that MOU allows that student to have a dual major, but most importantly, be able to be successful in the forestry community if they are successful in that career path. By doing all this, I spend quite a bit of time mentoring students the same way I was involved in this business, but most importantly, engaging others to help us do this work. I challenge you, for those that love the outdoors, please take time to work with others to help them see the importance of this business. We have to be diverse, we have to provide equity, and we have to be inclusive. Thank you.